Do you nurse any fears towards these elections?
To be frank with you, well, not fears, more like concerns and reservations. I mean, I wondered why there was a blatant, you know, a manifest pressure on the INEC people. Why? I ask myself why.
How do you mean pressure? From who?
I expect that when INEC puts everything together, INEC will on its own, rather than, you know, some initiative from the government. You know, this whole thing was started, the postponement started with a speech by the National Security Advisor. And then, you know, the thing just gathered a domino effect and everybody. Before you knew it, we were all talking about postponement and all the rest of it.
You didn't think that INEC were not ready?
No, I don't think so. I frankly don't. And you see, whether or not the facts have been put in the public place for us to absorb are true and so on and so forth. But the point is, how do people perceive it? NSA began the thing, then, you know, and the thing gathered momentum, and it was to the point of, and then it was, look, on the day of the postponement, I was listening to some foreign media, Sky, CNN, and it was said that, a Nigerian official, a high-ranking Nigerian official, had given indication that the election will be postponed.
Okay.
Now, listen to me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Those news sources will not have made such a confident broadcast if a high-ranking official hadn't told them. And then, so it seemed to us who were designing that all the motion of meeting with all the stakeholders was really a formality.
Well, that's on the one hand.
Yes.
I mean, that is gone now. That
right,
is,
yes, of course.
And it was saying that
Yes.
it was, as you rightly said, I think...
This is not the first time elections have been postponed in the country.
On one hand, and
yes.
I think that that conference, or was it appearance before the senators,
yes.
the INEC chairman kept on re-emphasizing how this was a blessing in disguise.
Well, yes.
So, I mean, we're past that now. We're
Yes.
looking at the elections proper.
Right.
March 28th is almost here.
Right.
Do you nurse any fears approaching March 28th?
Well, in what sense? What kind of...
Do you have any foreboding? We've had...
oh, well, okay, well...
there have been
yes.
reassurances that
Yes,
the elections
well-
will hold as planned. That is on the one hand. And then what exactly did the... What do I keep saying conference? The appearance before the senators.
Right, yes.
Did it boost your confidence that indeed we are set and prepared and nothing can go wrong from what you can see as far as these elections are concerned?
I think that if the politicians will let the INEC be, the elections will be well conducted. You don't forget, as I said, it's a human...
You said if
the politicians will let them be, you know, the elections
they
will be well conducted. To be, you know, that's how I feel anyway.
So you're confident that the elections will hold
They
as planned?
will hold as planned.
You have no fears about that?
I really do. And I hope that nobody will be playing. You see, look, listen to me. If you look at the Electoral Act itself, it makes provisions for all kinds of contingencies. Don't forget, it's almost 160 sections and divided into the various subsections. It makes provision for all kinds of contingencies. For example, if, as people, you know, fear and anticipate that even in the Northeast, where you have a war situation, more or less, you know, it's possible to vote. You see, the critical factor is that you will vote in those areas that there is sufficient peace, and then when it comes to returns, the critical factor is always the figures that we've got here will it affect the outcome of the elections when all is said and done? For example, if 200,000 people voted there, all right, and the result of the election shows that the man that is lagging behind, that is losing, even if 200,000 was added to these votes, it would make no difference.
Does that justify?
Well, it's not a question of whether it justifies Chamberlain.
No, but it pops up. There are those who are asking.
No. What I'm saying is, look, if you add the 200,000 naira to his votes, and they are now at par, obviously, there's an issue there. Then you go to what the law says next. Bring on whatever it is that you have. But if you add 200,000, sorry, I beg your pardon, I'm taking money.
Okay too. I don't mind it.
200,000 votes to the figure of the man that is losing, and is still distantly behind, then what are we talking about? Don't forget that the, how should I put it now? Again, let me use the expression critical factor in elections is when you complain, when you petition concerning the result of the election, the critical factor is always was the elections conducted in substantial compliance with the provisions of the electoral law,
which is for the court to determine.
Yes, and once the courts just, satisfy themselves, there was substantial compliance.
But before they get to the court, isn't it, or aren't we, or isn't the commission supposed to target, say, 100%? For instance, in distribution.
No.
Would it be out of place if they were to do that?
Concerning,
say, distribution of the PVCs, for instance.
No. You can't get ever 100%.
No, I said if they target.
Well, yes, that's obviously what they've targeted. But many people will have died. Many people will be unwilling even to, there are folks out there who are saying, it doesn't concern me. Since they've been running the government, what benefits have I got and so on. There will always be people with that kind of cynical attitude. So you can't ever achieve. There'll be people who will make every effort like I did.
Is the commission supposed to actually bother about that, or they should bother about, look, I will do our role as just go ahead and distribute. Whether they come and collect or not, that is their personal fish.
What amuses me in all of this, and I say amuses me, is that there is a provision under the law, electoral law, for continuous voter registration. There are provisions for if...
Yeah, you can go ahead. Well,
yes, provisions for continuous voter registration. All right? And you see, it's too late, and it's never really a wise thing to do, to speak in terms of absolutes. You shouldn't, and we ought not to. Reasonably, I was reading the papers the other day about 75.5%.
Yeah. Today,
about that. The distribution. Look, in football, the incident that happened between, was it Equatorial Guinea and one other country the other day, and Ghana.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah. No,
there was
Ghana.
Tunisia, and then there was...
Yes, and then there was, Equatorial Guinea, the host nation. Mm-hmm. You see, the footballing rules allow that if you played so very many minutes, I think 78 minutes or so, or 80 minutes, then whatever the results, then you take it that the match has been concluded.
But they had to eventually...
Well, but but you see that even with all the break, the referee only allowed 3 minutes play before he called it quits. If you add 3 minutes to where they were before, it's not 90 minutes.
Even though there were those who were surprised. Why would you put out of...
This is because, look, you have to factor in wisdom in the exercise of things. In any human setting, you have to put in all these factors. You can never, until kingdom come, get it 100%. It's not possible.